This week's episode is featuring OmniGro. OmniGro delivers a robust blend of biostimulant and micronutrients to your crops all season long, including nitrogen, potassium, boron, copper, iron, manganese, and zinc. Visit stbiologicals.com to learn more about this and other regenerative ag products. Hello, and welcome to the ST Biologicals Soil Speaks podcast. This week, we'll discuss how cover crops can improve the health of your soil. Let's get started. Why is everyone talking about cover crops? We know everyone's concerned about topsoils and soil health in general. The economics of farming require attention to soil to get good yields. But soil does much more than germinate seeds and nourish plants. Soil health is usually defined as the capacity of soil to function as a living ecosystem that sustains plants, animals, and people. But there are many links between soil health and the nutritional value of the food you produce. Healthy soil plays an essential role in crop production and ecosystem stability. The long-term economic viability of a farm or a ranch is tied to the quality of its soil. Cover crops play a role in farming practices that improve the soil. Traditional agricultural practices negatively impact the viability of a farm through soil degradation, erosion, and nutrient depletion. How do you incorporate cover crops into your existing farming or ranching practices? Well, you start by planning and asking yourself some questions. What is your goal? What is your location? What was your preceding crop? What crop are you going to be following with? What is your cover crop planting window? What is your cover crop termination method? Answer these questions, and you'll be well on your way to more fertile soil, less disease, fewer insect pests, and good yields. Cover crops are grown for the protection and enrichment of the soil. Any plants growing in a field that aren't harvested are cover crops. No matter what the season, there are cover crops that create optimum soil conditions in your fields and your pastures. Cover crops can accomplish a great many things in your fields. It's important to plan before you plant. In the past, you may have planted cover crops only between cash crop harvests. But when you interplant covers with cash crops, you get double duty from the covers. They suppress weeds while maintaining soil moisture. Cover crops shade out weeds, and their canopy creates a nice umbrella that shields your soil from the intense heat of the sun. Prior to planting in the spring, many cover crop species are quick to germinate and prepare the soil for cash crops. Field peas are fast-growing legumes that suppress weeds and fix nitrogen. Oats and annual ryegrass grow fast, decrease erosion from spring rains, and build up biomass in your soil. In the summer, plant cover crops, between crops, or interplanted with a cash crop. It is well worth the extra effort. Both buckwheat and pearl millet suppress weeds and improve soil aggregation. Millet is becoming very popular because it can handle drought and fix nitrogen. After harvest is a traditional time to plant covers. Hairy vetch, daikon radishes, and many clovers will improve water infiltration while keeping weeds at bay. Vetch and clovers also fix nitrogen. Many of these cover crops winter kill, but the root growth and surface biomass protect your fields from winter erosion, acting as a living mulch. They also feed the beneficial microorganism communities, so there is less real estate for pathogens come springtime. Different cover crops have different purposes. Legume cover crops fix nitrogen through a symbiotic relationship with rhizobia bacteria. The bacteria live in nodules on the plant roots. Soybeans can fix up to 250 pounds of nitrogen per acre, and perennial crops, such as clover or alfalfa, up to 500 pounds of nitrogen per acre. These plants need very little, if any, nitrogen fertilizer. Adding nitrogen to a field of legumes that are already fixing nitrogen with the aid of soil bacteria will shut down the fixation process. Studies by New Mexico State University have found that yields will be low even with nitrogen fertilizer if nodules aren't present. Nodules seem to help plants use nitrogen fertilizer more effectively. With good farming practices, your soil bacterial communities are allies in soil fertility, and you'll need less fertilizer. Cover crops increase the efficiency of nutrient cycling. Soil biodiversity is important for crop yields. The stronger the microbial community, the more mineral nutrients in the soil are available for plant intake. Some nutrients, such as nitrogen, are very mobile in soil. Nitrogen leaches rapidly out of soil with little organic matter or living roots. But deep-rooted cover crops, such as radishes and clovers, scavenge the deep soil layers for nutrients. They capture and store nutrients in their biomass until they're terminated. The nutrients are then available to cash crops in plant-available forms. Living roots of cover crops help improve soil structure, a key to strong beneficial microbial communities. Soil microbes, earthworms, and other soil critters convert nutrients into plant-available forms. Soil community diversity leads to optimum plant growth. Nobody wants to lose their precious topsoil, but every year an average of 2 millimeters per acre of soil is lost to wind or water erosion. Bare fields are subject to water erosion by hard rains and snowmelt. Winds blow topsoil from your field, taking with it beneficial soil microbes and plant nutrients. They usually end up in nearby lakes and streams, causing decrease in surface water quality. Algae blooms are on the rise. The impact a raindrop has on a patch of bare soil is incredible. Some particles are dislodged, while others are compacted. During a rain event, the drops can fall at velocities reaching 30 feet per second. They splash soil as high as 3 feet into the air. These particles can land 5 feet away. In the process, the wind associated with the storm moves soil particles even further. Covering your soil with plant material diminishes or eliminates the erosion process. Different cover crop species do this job better, but any plants are better than bare earth, including weeds. A study shows the raindrop soil displacement rate was 67% less falling on crop canopies than on the bare earth. When you decrease topsoil erosion with cover crops, you increase your nutrient retention. Well, that's money in your pocket. When you've got healthy soil livestock, aka microorganisms, you'll worry less about how to control pests. Beneficial microorganisms are plant allies in numerous ways. They take up space in the rhizosphere and the phyllosphere so pathogens don't have a chance. They activate a plant's defense mechanisms to fight disease and pests. Their movement improves soil structure for better root development. They actively create humus. Over 90% of all plants on Earth have symbiotic relationships with microbes. We usually think of soil microbes, but microorganisms are actually everywhere and at all stages of a plant's life, from seed to the next seed generation. Although the majority of microbes are found in the plant's rhizosphere, a large amount are found on the plant leaves, the phyllosphere. Microbes found on plant leaves can intercept carbon compounds emitted from plants, take in ammonium pollutants, and impact the health of each plant. Having a strong colony of beneficial microbes in the plant's phyllosphere results in less space for pathogenic microorganisms. Beneficial microbes, especially mycorrhizal fungi, create a form of biostimulation to rouse a plant's defense mechanisms when they sense these pathogens. Microbes lead very short lives. They are eaten by larger microorganisms or die natural deaths. Many are decomposers, creating humus from organic matter. Earthworms, one of the soil critters we can see with the human eye, move through plant root zones, creating tunnels coated with worm castings. This improves soil structure for better plant root development. Agricultural fields are bacterially dominant because of the traditional use of pesticides, fungicides, and tillage. The use of herbicides to terminate cover crops decrease the value of your conservation practices. Using a roller crimper to terminate cover crops is a management practice that maintains soil microbes, particularly fungi. A more balanced bacteria to fungi ratio creates a better environment for optimum plant growth, crop yield, and long-range soil health. Incorporating cover crops in a multi-year crop rotation system has far-reaching benefits. Besides decreasing the erosion of topsoil when you add cover crops to your farm's production system, you begin building topsoil, and at a rate greater than nature can do alone. As climate change issues such as drought and flooding occur with increasing frequencies, your farm will benefit from the ecosystem services supported by cover crops. Weed management is one benefit of covers that is not given enough press. Using management practices that use fast-growing cover crops gives slower-growing cash crops the benefit of greater water infiltration and nutrient retention. This is especially beneficial at germination and grain set. Legumes, which fix nitrogen, reduce your nitrogen fertilizer needs. Cover crops, interplanted with cash crops, keep the soil covered at all times so less evapotranspiration occurs. Of course, a soil test is an important first step. Once you get that soil health assessment, you need to know more than just the NPK and soil pH. You need to know your micronutrient and microbe profiles. Armed with that information, you can look at cover crop seeds. Good soil fertility management leads to healthier crops. Cover crops have been proven to improve soil structure, increase microbial community diversity, and create better overall soil function. At ST Biologicals, we are passionate about soil health. To find out more about how to implement cover crops at your farm or ranch, visit stbiologicals.com. When soil speaks, we listen. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.